The fire crackled in the dense forest of Kaalvan, casting shadows on 6 villagers who shouldn't be there after midnight. The wind whispered unnaturally, and the trees swayed like ancient watchers. But the scent was worse, a rotting, sweet-sour stench of something dead and still walking. The villagers came to perform a forbidden ceremony, rooted in centuries-old lore. The promise was simple: speak the chant, spill a drop of blood, and ask. The ghosts would come and listen. Nobody remembered why the forest was cursed, only that it had been for generations. Long ago, an entire village vanished without a trace. Travelers spoke of figures in the mist and voices calling them by name. Stories of possession followed: a child knowing things he shouldn't, a woman aging overnight, a man setting his family on fire, claiming they were already dead. The villagers tonight had heard those tales, but desperation makes fools of wise men. They chanted, and the air split open. Shadows pulled themselves from trees and rocks, gathering in the firelight. At first, they were just shadows, but then eyes opened in them, and smiles formed. A woman with no legs floated inches off the ground, a child with an adult's face, a man with arms bent backwards. "Why have you called us?" one asked, voice layered like a choir in hell. The villagers hesitated, but Marin, the eldest, stepped forward, asking for power and strength. The ghosts grinned, then let us in. One by one, the villagers dropped to their knees, letting the ghosts crawl inside them like mist through a crack. Their eyes turned white, then black, and then nothing. The next morning, they returned home, but they were no longer villagers. They dressed, spoke, laughed, worked, and lived like villagers, but they weren't human anymore. They fed in secret, on livestock, then on the sick and forgotten. The hunger grew. In the nearby town of Rajpur, people whispered of strange happenings, missing people, and opened graves. Local priests failed. Exorcisms ended with vomiting blood or spontaneous combustion. One temple caught fire during a mass prayer. All were declared accidents and covered up, until Tantrik Aghoran came. He arrived on foot, covered in ash, eyes rimmed with black coal, hair tangled with bones. Children wept at his presence, dogs ran from him, and the wind stopped when he passed. He set up camp on the edge of the forest. They said he spoke with the dead, bathed in cremation fires, and once turned a demon into salt. The townspeople begged for help, and Aghoran listened. He spent 3 nights in silence, then spoke. "These are not new ghosts. These are old ones, long unsatisfied. Their hunger is not for flesh alone. They want life, the feel of skin, the touch of warmth." The town panicked as more people vanished, some found drained of blood. Some walked the streets at night, confused, forgetting their names, muttering phrases in ancient languages. Aghoran walked into the village where it all began. The air was thick, birds didn't sing, and every window watched him. He found them gathered around a tree, all 6 villagers. Their eyes were completely black, mouths stained red. "You are not welcome here, Tantrik," one said, voice impossibly deep. "Neither are you, spirit," Aghoran replied. The ground shook as they attacked, moving like smoke and fire, phasing through walls, twisting into unnatural shapes. Aghoran did not flinch. He pulled black powder from a pouch and drew a circle around himself. The ghosts howled, unable to cross it. He chanted in a voice that made the sky bleed. Thunder cracked, the ground split, and chains of light rose, latching onto the spirits, dragging them back. One spirit broke free, took the form of a giant serpent, and lunged. Aghoran caught it midair with his bare hand, turned it into glass, and shattered it. The ritual took 7 nights. The final night was the worst. The ghosts fused into a single, monstrous form, a tower of flesh and teeth. "We were human once," it screamed. "We loved. We lost. We suffered." Aghoran's eyes burned with fire. "You forgot what it meant to be human the moment you began feeding on them." He pulled a dagger carved from bone, stabbed the earth, and a vortex opened, swirling with fire and shadow. The monstrous form was pulled in, piece by piece, until only a single eye remained, watching him. "We will return. Then I will, too," Aghoran replied. With that, the eye closed, the wind returned, birds sang, and the scent of rot was gone. Aghoran disappeared that morning. No one saw where he went, but every year, on the same date, the air turns cold, dogs howl, and the old tree in the village bleeds sap the color of blood. They say if you stand too close, you can still hear them whispering, waiting, hungry.